2025, a dynamic year. We thought 2024 was the dynamic year. No way. 2025 was the year. We have been on a roller coaster this year as a society. Candidly, the whole society has been on a roller coaster, but also as an industry. And many of you are aware, the one big beautiful bill originated sometime late May, broke the headlines, and we went through a multi-month legislative cycle in which the fate of our product and the value proposition was swinging up and down on any given day. And in that time period, there was so much noise that got created. There was so much emotion, people not sure what to understand, people not sure what to believe, people not sure, what is next or what's the right strategy, what's the right approach. Well, I have great news for everyone. The ground is solid underneath our feet now. And many people have not caught up to just how epic this all kind of went down in our favor. And I'm not going to say that there's not losses, because there's absolutely losses. The loss of the investment tax credit is a big deal, and it is certainly going to affect some markets more than others. But we can't stay kind of like stuck there. Like, the reality is we were given a pass, a very prosperous path forward. And it's our job to adapt to that very prosperous path forward. And we should, honestly, I feel incredibly lucky, incredibly grateful. This could have gone down so much differently than it actually did. And we were left with, as you're going to see today, a compelling, prosperous, abundant path forward that allows us to continue to execute on the core vision and mission of what we're here to do, what our purpose is, while providing substantial economic opportunity to the people that really create results and the people that really make an impact getting these new products and technologies to market in your communities. So my number one goal here today is to align all of us on our vision for the future and align all of us on the opportunity. And this is a significant moment. We're a decade-old company and team. And, there's those moments in our history where we get challenged and we get questioned and we go through things. And heck, marriages are like this, right? We go through things and we have to come back into realignment. Or if we don't, we break apart. This is that opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. It truly is, to come back into total realignment. Total realignment on what we are here to do, what you are here to do, what the opportunity is for you right here, right now at this company, and what we are going to create together, and why this is going to be so freaking epic. So that is my goal. That is my purpose. And inside of this presentation that you're about to see, of course, we have some big updates about how we're going to be adapting to the market in 2026 and the go-forward plan for the future. So let's get a refresher here. Why are we here? Why are we actually here? Our vision is to accelerate the adoption of sustainable energy worldwide. And the mission is to build the world's first decentralized solar and storage sales enablement and fulfillment platform that allows every member of the ecosystem, our customers, our sellers, our installers, and our teammates, to thrive. To thrive. Now I ask you, is that vision and that mission complete? Can we say that we have completed our vision and mission? No, we cannot, right? And is that vision and is that mission still important? Does our world still need to accelerate the adoption of sustainable energy? Yes or no? Ladies and gentlemen, what we do and why we are here is more important than ever. It's more important than ever what we do and why we are here. And as you are going to see, and when we start to discuss and talk about the model, wow, like if we don't build the world's first decentralized solar sales enablement and fulfillment platform, I honestly think this industry is going to end up shrinking into just local contractors. There's very few national scalable models remaining in our industry. And we're going to talk about why that is. It might be down to us in a lot of ways to truly nail and scale the model that can go to thousands or tens of thousands of homes per month and rapidly accelerate the transition to sustainable energy in America. And I'm going to show you why I believe that more than ever, based on the facts and evidence that we have gathered over the last 3 years. But let's just sort of ground for a second in where we are in this thing called the energy transition. We are here, 2025. And what you are looking at is a graph of how much energy the world is going to consume over the next 24 years. Okay. We need to massively increase the amount of energy that we produce because electrification and energy demand is skyrocketing. What do you see when you look at that graph? Drop it into the comment thread. Like, what do you see when you look at where we are and you look at how much energy the world needs to produce and how much of that energy needs to come from solar and batteries? What do you see when you look at that graph? Massive need. Massive. Fossil fuels are boring. Overwhelming need. Opportunity. Guys and gals, the products that we are bringing to market are just getting started. Raghu and I are going to talk about this in a little bit. We have the co-founder of Enphase here today. There is no possible way, no way that you pull off this energy transition without solar and batteries. Solar and batteries are the staple. It's the meat and potatoes of the freaking energy transition. You cannot have all this solar on the grid without batteries. You cannot achieve a world that can supply the power we need and actually be sustainable without solar and batteries. We are the meat and potatoes, ladies and gentlemen. We're the main thing on the plate in the largest industry in the world, which is playing out over the next few decades. So what problem are we solving inside the energy transition? I want us to get completely grounded on this, because when you come into alignment around why our mission is so important, why we must build the world's first decentralized solar sales enablement and fulfillment platform, you will be empowered with a vision and a mission and a purpose behind every customer you enroll, every new team member you talk to, every ambassador you talk to. It's going to be bigger than you. And that's the energy behind all great entrepreneurship. Think about the entrepreneurs that we admire and love that built game-changing, world-changing companies. They didn't do that because they were focused on, how do I make 5 or 10 grand a month? They're focused on a vision that's going to impact the world in a way that's bigger than they are. And I'm telling all of you right now that you are a massive part of this. This is our opportunity. We solve these problems and we contribute to the world in a colossal way. So what are we solving? National scale, and then I might add in maybe one day global. If we're thinking really big, we could think global. But right now, easily over the next decade, just focusing nationally, we are solving scale. Why scale? Because we need to scale. If we're not focused on models that scale, we are playing small and we're not hitting the goals of how the heck we create the energy we need to supply this world sustainably. And if people like you and me are not focused on solving problems that can scale solar energy and batteries, who is? So this is a big deal. And every time I see people play small and go back to models which frankly will never scale and don't work, and I love our contractors, I love local contractors, we've figured out the model to do it together. But the model is not being a salesperson for a small local contractor. That's not the model. That model's never going to scale. It's never going to impact the world the way we need it to. It's not growing fast enough, and it's not meaningful or material in terms of real opportunity. And so we have a lot of national models which have scaled, but as you're about to see, it's a graveyard. It's a freaking graveyard. Solar 1.0 and Solar 2.0 didn't work. And I'm going to show you. We are now entering the era of Solar 3.0. And if we want to solve scale, unit economics, and volatility, we got to think differently. And it's not vertically integrated national contractors, and it's not small local regional contractors. It's just not. We need to be committed to an evolutionary model. And that is what we are doing here. That is why we exist. And I'm not going to take away from our personal needs. Of course, we have personal needs. Of course, we need to make money. I need to make money. You need to make money. We all want to make as much freaking money as possible. But that's only like the surface of what we're doing here. There's so many different places we can go to make money if that's all we're doing. There's only one place that you can go to make the kind of money that we want to make in the energy transition and solve one of the biggest problems that is stopping us from scaling these enormously important technologies. And that, my friends, is freaking power. It's power. And I want you to own it and get it in your blood and in your DNA and get aligned, because the more that our team aligns on our vision and our opportunity, the more powerfully we're going to create. So let's take a little dive into history and understand how we got here. So Graveyard's Solar 1.0 were these companies, right? Solar City, Sungevity, Sun Edison, OneRoof, Varango, NRG Solar. 10 years ago, when I joined the industry, these were the behemoths. They were the behemoths, billion-dollar companies that had scaled. Here is the problem, and we'll get into... Actually, let me figure this out. What's the right sequence here? The 1.0 companies sort of all went bankrupt. I'm going to say about 5-6 years ago was the end of the era of 1.0. And then we sort of saw the rise of the EPC, the national vertically integrated contractor, right? Titan Solar Power, Infinity Energy, Coda, SunPower, Lumio, ADT, Sunworks, Pink Energy, Suntuity. These were all multi-state, nationally vertically integrated contractors. They were all the biggest in the country. They're all gone. All of them. This is like, we need to be paying attention. Like, it's not actually normal, like, that an industry would see this many bankruptcies and this many models collapse when there's so much opportunity. We're still at the beginning of the energy transition. Why is this happening? And it's so important that we understand why this is happening and we design a model that is different. Because we have a very complex industry. We have chosen to solve a very complex problem. National contracting at scale of, highly specific technologies, basically virtual power plants we're building on people's rooftops, which require permitting, which require utility approvals, all kinds of other approvals. This is an incredibly complex problem that we have chosen to solve. And the 1.0 era of solar never figured out unit economics. That was their problem. They never figured out unit economics. What do I mean by that? They couldn't figure out how to make money on every job. Solar City, the more jobs they installed, the more money they lost. Same thing with Sun Edison. Same thing with Sungevity. They never solved unit economics. The model just wasn't profitable. They couldn't figure out how to make money on these jobs. And Elon Musk had to come in 2017. He had to bail out Solar City. He integrated it into Tesla. It became Tesla Energy. It dwindled away to be a fraction of what it was at Solar City. And it has never returned, ever, in any meaningful way since Solar City. That's information for us. That's data for us. So what happened? This whole era of giant solar companies that never figured out profitable unit economics, all they ever did was lose money. They went away. And along comes the EPC. This is 2.0. And what the EPC figured out is, wait a minute, we are going to fix our fulfillment price so that we know that we have profitable unit economics. And we're going to give to sales organizations a price where they get to keep all the margin over whatever the price is that we fixed. And we don't focus on sales at all. We bifurcate. They handle sales. We handle fulfillment. And we guarantee that we sort of make money. We have a scalable model. We can sign up as many salespeople as we want. Off to the races. Sounds fantastic. And for about 5 years, it was. During the high growth years, when the solar graph was only going one way, up and to the right, all these companies, many of these companies boomed. Now, even in that period, there were still companies that went bankrupt because managing cash flow is so difficult in vertically integrated companies. You have payroll every 2 weeks for every, site surveyor, every single person in the entire chain. Being on payroll means you have to have cash going out every 2 weeks. That's how it works. Plus you have leases, you have insurance, you have trucks, you have all kinds of costs built in with this model. So what happened when the graph wasn't just going up and to the right? Anybody want to tell me? I think we all know what happened. They couldn't figure out volatility. They could not figure out volatility. The second that these models weren't growing, they completely imploded. And you could not manage cash flow at all. They could not scale down the costs fast enough when the sales volume was volatile and changed. And that's what happened. And we literally saw 70, 80% of every vertically integrated national contractor disappear. And we might see more over the next 2 quarters, is my guess. There's a lot of noise out there right now about one in particular that is not paying anyone. Maybe some of you know who I'm talking about. So 1.0 never figured out unit economics. 2.0 never figured out volatility. These are the problems, my friends, that when you solve unit economics and you solve volatility, you actually have the resilient, sustainable model for how you deliver clean energy technologies to the world. We are in an industry that is inherently cyclical. It's energy. If you study the energy industry, energy is cyclical. It moves in cycles. Price of energy is changing. It's very policy driven. Policies change. So if we don't solve these 2 things, if we don't figure out unit economics and we don't figure out volatility, we will never actually have a safe model that can scale and deliver the results and impact that we want for the world. I think that we are in the middle of running the solar industry's first 4-minute mile as we speak. This was the person that ran the first 4-minute mile. And I'm going to tell you why I think that. Here's the decentralized solution. And this is based off Q3 economic data. This was our lowest quarter in 5 years. 5 years. This is the peak of volatility, the peak of Sonova bankruptcy, the peak of President Trump signing the one big beautiful bill and completely changing everything, the peak of everyone going, oh my God, what's going to happen? What's going on? You could not have a more volatile year or a more volatile quarter. And we were EBITDA positive. We were freaking EBITDA positive. EBITDA positive in the most volatile quarter that we have had in 5 years. Our unit economics are EBITDA positive in Q3, but the reality is the nature of the model, we know that we have profitable unit economics. We don't pay commissions and we don't pay labor and we don't pay equipment until the project is installed, more or less. So we know we have positive cash flow, and we know we have positive unit economics because of the nature of providing a sales price, a fixed sales price, and you getting to keep the margin on everything over that price. And that kind of model works. We're not employing thousands of call center reps, thousands of internal salespeople, thousands of internal employees that we never actually know. Are we making money? Are we not making money? Are we spending more than we're making? It's not our model. So we know we've solved unit economics, and we know we have the literal proof right now that our model is the most resilient to handle volatility in the industry. And it's so important to understand why that is. It is all about the way money moves. It is all about the way that money moves. And when you have a decentralized model, which is what we have at our core, we fulfill through a network and we sell through a network. The bulk of all of the costs come due when revenue has come in. That is so massive for sustainable cash flow. And because we have positive unit economics, the costs that we do have, right? All the people who are on our payroll, all of the people working on technology, all the people working on project operations, all the people working on accounting, the various executives and product leaders and whatnot. I'm not going to say there's not costs there. Of course there's costs there. But the reality is we know we're making money with positive unit economics to support that cost. And it's on us as management to manage that cost up and down with volatility. But what we have proven is that we can do that. We have a safe model. And that is so freaking important that we all anchor around what decentralization is. It is safer for sales. It's safer for every one of you. You don't risk your commissions never being paid. It's safer for your customers. We don't leave our customers freaking high and dry. And it's safer for shareholders, which I know many of you are options holders and investors in the company. We are building a model that can withstand cycles inside a massive freaking industry like the energy transition. This is humongous because just like a cycle, I believe that we are getting ready for a massive bull run cycle in our space, and you're going to see why. And to have a model that can withstand all the volatility and make money in any stage of the market, make money if we face the biggest challenges and come out the other side and be stronger than ever, ladies and gentlemen, we've got to be proud of that. We're running a 4-minute freaking mile right now, right in front of our own eyes. And all the evidence we need is all around us. And so what it's about now is where we go next. What problems do we solve next? And I'll tell you right now, it's scale. It's time for us to grow again massively. And we've got plans for how to do that. And it's friction. So we have solved so many problems over the last, few years. The platform is miles ahead of where it was 24 months ago. And 24 months from today, I don't even know if we could imagine where it could be. You're going to see this weekend the first introduction of AI, and that's just scratching the surface. It's not just AI and the type of efficiency it's going to enable for coding and development, but it is going to change the game. Companies are going to be way more productive internally at solving problems and moving faster because of these tools and getting enabled. But so much of it is about just consistent focus. It's about a team that is focused every day on solving a problem and understands the nuances, the weeds, the layers, the details of that problem better than anyone else in the world. And so every day we're thinking about what could we change to this process? What could we change to that process? How do we make this more friction? How do we open up this up? How do we open that up? And there's just a power of compounding interest. And as we continue to get better and better and better, that compounds. We have more resources. We can do even more. So I ask you to imagine with how far we have come, with everything that we have been through as a platform, a team, and a company, where could we be 5 years from today? Where could we freaking be 5 years from today? And it's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing the capabilities that we are developing and where we can take this platform. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that. I will just leave it at this before we get to the next section. Our progress towards building the ultimate scalable national model is undeniable. It's undeniable. You cannot deny decentralized. We are heading into 2026 with $10 freaking million of cash in the bank. We survived Sonova owing us $10 million, for God's sakes. $10 million is how much money Sonova freaking owed us. We made it through that. Never missed a commission payment. Never missed a contractor payment. Never missed a payment to our freaking distributor who we buy our equipment from, who, believe me, wanted their money. They didn't care Sonova didn't pay us. They wanted their money. We are still heading into 2026 with $10 million in the bank, which is just about more than any other company in this industry except freaking Sunrun. If you go look at the only other publicly traded company, it's the new freak show, Powur, which is a hodgepodge of like 5 different companies all slapped together. It's complete solar, which totally failed. And then this billionaire buys it and slaps it together with bankrupt SunPower. And they owned Blue Raven. And they just did another acquisition, which is actually really good for our industry because it was a $55 million acquisition. We want to start seeing those types of acquisitions. Why am I bringing this up? Because if you go look at their financials, they are a company that has 1,000+ employees and they have less money in the bank than we do. What the heck? What is going on? It's madness out there. Anyways, our progress is undeniable. And before I talk about strategy, now we are grounded. We are aligned. Why are we here? What problem are we solving? Who is actually solving it better than freaking we are? Let's talk about the opportunity, because we need to get grounded in how big this opportunity is. I believe that the next run is the real championship team run. And I don't know all of my sports analogies good enough to like name the appropriate team for you guys right now. But just imagine, like, you get a bunch of all-stars together, but they didn't really have time to figure out team dynamics, and the coach was new, everybody was new, and even though they're all-stars and even though they're really successful, they hadn't actually done that really deep foundational work to be the championship team. The difference between who freaking wins the championship or not, right? That's kind of how I feel about Powur's last phase. Like, we knocked it out of the park, but we were immature in so many ways. We were still building our executive team. We were still building our platform and our processes. We were still nailing so much of our model. And we still did really freaking well. Paid out over $300 million in commissions, generated over $1.2 billion something dollars in revenue as our starter team, as just figuring this crap out. Who we are as a community now, when you've got time invested, history invested, you've got experience together, you've got all the challenges and experience under your belt, you've got the right feedback loops and mechanisms set up in place, you know each other better, you've got relationships that are deeper between the top field leaders, the top corporate members, everybody's talking, everybody's working together, everybody's gelling, everybody's on the same page. That, my friends, is the foundation for the timing to now come in, and you get to really be the championship run. And this is my thesis, is that we got to number 10 largest solar provider in America in the last run. Now we need to go to top 3. We are ready to go to top 3. And damn it all, we might even figure out how to get to number 1. I am not pulling that off the table because I believe this model is so dynamic and the possibilities ahead of us are so crazy that number 1 is absolutely in the cards. But it is time for the real championship run to go from 10 to freaking 1, or right up there. And we got it. And it's all about opportunity. So let's talk about it. The one big beautiful bill, right? Oh my God. What's going on? Is solar ending? Do we all need to sell HVAC? What's happening? No. This crap is crazy. You can't make this stuff up. And again, I don't want to sugarcoat that this is not equal. The effects of this bill will have impact on certain markets more than it will on others. But what I want to focus on is the path forward for the company and the path forward for all of us and how insanely badass the opportunity is. So here's what we got. Section 48E was retained. This is a very big deal. As you all are hopefully aware of right now, this means that any residential leasing company is still able to claim the original Biden era tax credits. We're going to need to unpack that statement, because what most people don't realize is that just in the last quarter did the full Biden era tax credits really mature in the solar industry. And you are now starting to see that reflected in these leasing products. And this is way better than a 30% tax credit. And I'm going to show you why. Not only did we retain Section 48E, which said that any project that is placed in service before 2027 will qualify for the original IRA tax credits, but we then got another massive blessing. When Trump came out and said, I'm going to screw these solar guys even more. They didn't get it hard enough. We got to be harder on them. We got to take away their ability to, safe harbor and do all this stuff. It rocked the industry again, and investors went on pause, right? And said, oh God, what's this executive order going to be? Well, the executive order comes out, and guess what? Every project under 1.5 megawatts is left untouched, gets to qualify for the original. That's exactly what he said, Phil. Go read the executive order, bro. It qualifies for the original safe harboring. What this means is that any company that safe harbors and purchases 5% of the system before June 2026 has 4 years to put that project in service. 4 years. Holy crap. There's a path emerging where all of a sudden, we don't just have a 30% tax credit. We have, in many markets, a 50% tax credit until 2030. A 50% tax credit till 2030. How many of y'all knew that the tax credit was actually 50%? Anybody confused right now? Anybody like, Jonathan, what are you talking about? This is wild. You guys aren't going to believe this. It's actually like closer to 50%. And as ironic as this is, I believe that the greatest subsidy capture in solar's history is probably going to unfold over the next 5 years. And I will show you why. In the IRA, if you are a commercial entity, like a leasing company, you qualify for what are called bonus adders to the tax credit. Homeowners don't qualify for this. So if you're a homeowner and you get installed before end of this year, you get a 30% tax credit and you never qualified for more. But if I'm a leasing company and I use domestic content, I have the opportunity to get an extra 10% tax credit. Well, it just so happens there's this other thing in the Inflation Reduction Act called an energy community. And if you sell a project in an energy community, you get another 10%. Where are the energy communities? This is a really important, question. Come to find out, energy communities are all over the country. Most of California is an energy community. Half of Texas, large parts of Texas are energy communities. There's energy communities in Illinois. There's energy communities in various places in Colorado. I'm going to show you a map in a second. But essentially, a lease that is sold in an energy community with domestic content equals a 50% tax credit. Guys, the freaking tax credit is almost doubling. And we got this until 2030. Now, I don't know exactly how the financing companies create their formula. They might be blending all this together, but what it's equaling is an effective tax credit rate. And Sunrun is already publishing what theirs is. And the effective tax credit rate right now is closer to 45%. So leasing companies are basically getting a 45% tax credit, which is freaking massive compared to 30. Talk about extra value. But it gets even crazier. Are y'all following me with this? They don't claim the tax credit on the price that we sell the job for. Let that sink in. We go price a job. The EPC gets something called an EPC payout, right? That's not the price. That's what the leasing company is paying us. They're paying us to go build the job. That's not the price to the customer. That's not the price they claim the tax credit on. That's just the EPC payout. So what the heck is the actual price of this system that the leasing company is claiming the tax credit on? Well, it's this concept called fair market value. And thank you to the bankers, thank you to Goldman Sachs, and thank you to Bank of America and all of these companies that provide billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars of tax equity to fund all these leases. Do you want to know why Section 48E is still around and why we got till 2030 with this? I'm going to give you one clue. It has nothing to do with the fact that our legislators give a shit about solar, the ones who were doing this. It certainly wasn't the influence of Sunrun. Was it Sunrun, guys? Let's take one guess. Who is winning? Who is the biggest winner of 48E extending until 2030, claiming all these tax credits? It's the banks, baby. It's the banks. All the way. Goldman Sachs has influence. Bank of America has influence. They take this system that we sell and they mark it up and put it into their tax equity fund at what's called the fair market value. It is sometimes twice as high as what we sell it for. And they then claim the tax credit on the price that they've made up for what this system costs. Now do some freaking math. If we sell a system for $55,000, which is an average solar and battery project across America today, it's in that ballpark of 50 grand. We sell a $50,000 system, 50% tax credit on that is already pretty meaty. But if I turn around and mark that thing up and put it into a tax equity fund and say that it's really a $95,000 system, and I now claim a 50% tax credit at 95,000? What the F? What the F? That's a $45,000 chunk of value that comes out of nowhere. And if you want to understand why you are going and quoting a Good Leap lease in California or Texas or a lot of other markets with 2 batteries and, 12 kW system, and you're cutting your customer's bill by 30 or 40 freaking percent, this is why. This is what's actually going on right now. This is the best that it has ever been. You need to understand that. And I love cash and loan. I loved that product. It was a great product. It does not compete with this. The way that this all went down. I am telling you right now, ladies and gentlemen, we have the biggest urgency play in our lives over the next 5 years to freaking cash in on this. This is like, it's like there's a lot of free money that is at play right now. And the pricing that we are going to see to our customers is going to be better than ever. It's reflected in the stock prices. Sunrun is up 241% in the last 6 months. Wall Street knows what the hell is going on right now, ladies and gentlemen. Sunrun is going to have an amazing next 5 years. I am happy to say that. We need to have massive winners in our space. They are generating so much freaking cash. If you look at their financials, what the hell happened? This is a company that for 15 years has done nothing but lose money. Nothing but lose money for 15 years. And in the last 12 months, all of a sudden, they're printing money. Now you understand why. It's a 45% tax credit at the fair market value. This is the most money, the most margin, the most value the solar industry has ever seen. And it is completely matured in the last quarter or two. And when you watch the financials of Sunrun, they are going to be printing cash. And the companies that get this right are going to be printing cash. And we have every single thing we need to create demand and to create massive economic opportunity. So I'm going to speed up. I know we got to add some more time on here because of the downstream thing that happened. But anyways, I'll follow up. We'll show you guys a map where all the energy communities are. But you can see there's energy communities all over the country. And a lot of the strategy right now, look, if we're being really smart with our strategy, you want to target where you have energy communities and leases and high costs of electricity. There's going to be so much money to be made. So my expectations as we move forward into next year, there's still going to be a cash and loan market. There's still going to be times when people might want cash or loan or the product makes sense, but we're going to see a massive shift to TPO. I think we're going to be an 80%, 20% TPO to cash and loan mix. And on top of it, this is the wrong place for this. I'll come back to this. We've got this bonus. So let's talk about what opportunity means. Opportunity equals the customer value proposition times your earning potential. Okay? The customer value proposition times your earning potential. I have not talked in these slides about the energy trends. We all know electric prices are just going to keep going up. We all know what's coming with AI and data centers. We know there's huge strain on our grid. We know that we need to rapidly deploy gigawatts of energy to meet this demand. We know that that is going to raise electricity prices. We know electrification is going to put more demand on the grid, require more building, require more investment, raise prices. This is all just like a given, okay? Like everything that's coming over the next 5 years, we have so many tailwinds behind us. As interest rates lower, that's a tailwind. Cost of money gets even cheaper. Our financing gets even better. Our payment is even more, our value proposition is even more competitive. Electric prices rising, value proposition is even more competitive, right? So we've got all these tailwinds behind us now where for the last few years, they were all headwinds in front of us. Those headwinds are clearing out of the way, and now there's more tailwinds at our back than there are headwinds. What I want to show you here is something called pricing power, because this is our opportunity. Customer value proposition meets economic opportunity, your commission earning potential. So I'm going to show you not the systems, like I'm not telling you to go sell this, right? I just want you to actually understand how much pricing power exists in our product. What is pricing power? Pricing power is essentially your ability to offer a customer a competitive value proposition while in a way really maximizing your margins and your earnings. And this is what every freaking giant corporation does. You think Apple's, price of their iPhone is random? It is methodical. They have absolutely figured out to a T how much pricing power they have. What can I charge for this to maximize, my value while still delivering a product to a consumer that is leading, best in class, and going to be the market dominator? That's what pricing power is all about. So I'm showing you a few examples here of how significant the pricing power is in this product. In PG&E right now, on an 8.61 kW system with 2 power walls, we can reduce a homeowner's bill by 30% day number 1 with a $20,000 sales commission. What the heck? I'm not telling you to go make $20,000. I don't think you should. Go offer your customer way more value. You get to choose where you want to set your customer's value proposition. What I'm showing you is that the pricing power in these new products that are coming to market is unlike anything we have seen before. Here's a Texas example. This is a real system in Centerpoint, 10.66 kW with a single Powerwall 3. We are saving the customer 18% on their electric bill day 1 with an $8,100 commission. Day 1, they have an 18% bill savings. And as a seller, I can make $8,100 a commission on this exact configuration. Again, I'm not telling you what you should do. I'm showing you your pricing power. If you want to come in here and you want to make it more competitive, if you want to add another battery, if you want to do this, you want to do that, you've got 18% less than their current bill to play with in an $8,100 commission. Let's look at Hawaii. If I want to go into Hawaii right now, today, and sell an 8.6 kW system with 27 kilowatt hours, I can make $20,000 and still save my customer 7% a month off their electric bill today. I'm getting in your head pricing power. You should probably save your customer 20%, right? But this is our opportunity. When you have pricing power, you control demand. You control the economic value proposition to your customer. And the pricing power is off the chart. Same thing for Massachusetts. You can make $19,000, save your customer 20% day number one. If I want to make 10 grand, I can still probably save my customer 30 to 40%. And I'll show one more example here. This is Illinois, and this is with the new LightReach product. And I know a lot of you in Illinois, this is a big deal, sort of mastering this LightReach product as we transition from cash and loan. This product works a little different. LightReach actually does not claim the rebate on the battery. In Illinois, you get about $4,100 for every Powerwall 3 that you install, up to a max of $10,000 rebate. So if I install or sell one Powerwall 3, the customer can go claim a $4,100 instant cash rebate. If I sell a system with two Powerwalls, that customer's rebate is going to bump up to $8,200. So here we are looking at a 10.32 kW system. It's got a battery. We just missed putting it on there. We got a bill swap. So this is a 100% sort of bill swap, product, meaning they're going to pay the same for their solar cost as they did for their utility bill. However, the homeowner is going to qualify and receive this $4,100 cash rebate. That's incredibly meaningful. You are putting $4,100 of cash in your customer's bank account today for no risk, just switching from the utility they have now to their new utility. And you are making a $9,300 commission. $9,300. $93 to switch your customer from the utility they have today to a new utility that's the same and put $4,100 of cash in their pocket. This is your pricing power, ladies and gentlemen. This pricing power is massive. Do you want to make $6,000 on the deal, $5,000 on the deal? Well, guess what? You're going to give them a day one bill savings and $4,100 rebate. So I want us to understand the urgency that every one of us should feel. These economics and the pricing power that we have to deliver a compelling customer value proposition and significant commissions, significant earning potential. This is a window of time for the next 5 years that literally might be the best ever. And how freaking lucky and fortunate are we right now to be in this position? And we all know that people love a good story, right? What happens every single time we have a good story? We've got urgency on our side. People jump off the fence. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you that we as a community are going to master the story of urgency. And this is an urgency play for the next 4 years. Any homeowner that does not take advantage of these new utility rates is freaking insane. They are insane. And they only have 4 years to do it. What I love about this product, ladies and gentlemen, is that it is easy. We are simply switching a customer from their current utility, which does not care about them, likely does not care about the world, is going to exploit them forever, and we are signing them up to a new utility with better rates that is clean and sustainable energy, that they will never have to worry about the maintenance and operations of this system. We are simply becoming their new utility provider. We are simply offering them a lower kilowatt hour rate by joining their new virtual power plant, by their new utility, than they have with their old crappy one. That is our product. That is the product that is going to knock it out of the park for the next 5 years. It's the product that is going to create insane customer demand and maximize our economic opportunity. And I'm passionate about this, guys. We are not here to be martyrs. And I'm speaking from my heart on this one, because for the last 10 years, I've kind of martyred myself in a lot of ways in Powur. I have not been the highest paid person on this platform. Let me tell you, that title goes to many other people. I have busted my freaking ass. I have grinded and grinded and grinded and grinded. I have sacrificed so much time with my family, time with my loved ones, my health, my stress, my mental sanity. I have had to freaking go so far above and beyond what I thought was possible to show up for this company, this community, this mission, this vision, this product. And what I'm claiming is in the next 5-year run, I'm going to make more damn money than I've ever made in my freaking life. I am not a martyr for the world. I'm a servant and I deserve to be paid, just like you. You deserve to be paid for the work that you do. You are worth it. You deserve it. Your families deserve it. We deserve prosperity. We deserve health. We deserve not to be in survival all the time. This is about claiming what we are worth. In the next 5 years, we've got the ability to offer extraordinary value to our customers and create insane economic opportunity for ourselves. And when we follow the strategy that I'm going to outline, that's exactly what can happen. And I want you to claim it and make your damn money, baby. Make $10,000 of commission on a freaking job. If you are delivering amazing value and you know you're delivering amazing value, and we have happy, satisfied customers and we're changing their lives, putting more discretionary income in their pocket, getting them on clean energy, getting them independent from their utilities, backing up their homes, creating resiliency, then you'd be freaking proud of that. You'd be proud of that and receive, really receive what you're worth. Thank you for allowing me that. All right. I'm losing my voice, but the passion is coming out. So, y'all have been hearing about this prepaid lease product, right? Well, we are in the pilot phase, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, of introducing a game-changing new prepaid lease. And I don't have the time to go into all of this right here, but I am just trying to drill down on the main points I want you to understand. The economics on these new products are insane. They're better than ever. What HDM has done is a massive financial engineering. So you know how a leasing company can take the product and sell it to their tax equity investors at fair market value? Well, here's what HDM is doing. They take the prepaid lease that we sell. They sell it to their tax equity investors at fixed fair market value pricing, and then they take half of that massive tax credit and they discount it, they rebate it back to the contractor. So what are we doing? We are applying that money directly to you. And our vision for this product is we integrate it right into Powur Vision. And it will be the first product in the industry that is calculating the discounts on these prepaid leases, applying them to margin, and giving you all that pricing power again, where you can now come in and price your customers more competitively than just about anybody has seen. I'm going to follow up with like more economics and all this once this product is ready to roll out. This product is not everywhere. That's the downside. They are launching in Illinois and Colorado in Q4. Right now, they're in Texas, California, and Nevada. So, it's not going to be like a full nationwide rollout, but we will have this product available in all the markets that HTM is available. So part of my goal this weekend for you guys and over the coming weeks is really a training that shows you exactly what product produces the lowest kilowatt hour rates to your customers and the highest commissions in each market. And as we go forward, this is so easy. We are simply switching you from your current utility to a better one. That's all we're doing. Your current utility sucks. We're going to sign you up to your new utility. They're way better. Here's the pricing your new utility can give you. That's the product. So let's dive into strategy and how we are going to lead in this compelling future. Now that we are anchored on what is our vision? What problem are we solving? Why are we here? What's our purpose? We are aligned and know that we are doing something no one else in the industry is. We're truly innovating a scalable model in a way that no local contractor and no nationally vertically integrated contractor is. We're in our own innovation lane here, ladies and gentlemen. We're aligned on that. We're aligned on the opportunity. We know what the opportunity is ahead of us. We know the pricing power of these products. We know what we're shifting to. Now it's time to align on strategy. Strategy number one, how we are going to come out the gates strong in 2026 is TPO leadership. TPO leadership. I believe we have the ability to be the industry leader for sales enablement with TPO. Here's why I say that. We're the only EPC that I'm aware of that has designed and built our own proposal and design tool. We currently have GoodLeap integrated into that tool. And as many of you know, when you go and quote a GoodLeap lease on Vision, it is the easiest sales process in the space. You don't have to calculate your commission. You don't have to figure out equipments and AVLs and all these other things. Vision does that for you. You select the finance product. It calculates exactly what the kilowatt hour rate is based on what you want your commission to be. It tells you exactly what equipment is actually sellable and is on the AVL of this finance provider. And we click and we send documents from one place. As many of you know, we've talked about this on our ops forum. We are working on another solution now to integrate all of the contracts that we need to get signed. It's a little clunky right now, candidly, where we sell a lease and then we have to go to Documents Hub and we have to send out the two remaining documents we need to get signed to complete intake. What our goal is to, when we send that, but when we click that button on Vision and we send that credit check and the customer signs, all the documents will go out at once and all from Vision. So that's coming very soon. But what we want to see, and one of the lightning strikes we're going to share with you in a minute, is all three of the top TPO solutions integrated directly into Vision. And we are the only place in the industry that sales professionals, sales orgs, and contractors can go to get the best TPO products integrated seamlessly into one tool. And I believe we have the opportunity to do that. Of course, we will be focused on a frictionless fulfillment experience. We've already talked about the TPO contract packet that's coming. We are also going to be introducing all kinds of new policies. Super proud of the team. The team is really thinking deeply about how we streamline the entire change order and audit process with the TPO companies to reduce friction. And so we're going to be coming out with new policies around how we handle production variants, adding panels, decreasing panels, and we're going to optimize the heck out of this. So strategy number one is TPO leadership. We have the best products and the best sales enablement experience in the space in one spot, and we make it frictionless. Strategy number two, and this is the bittersweet one. We need to reduce the states that we cover to focus on the states that have the value proposition we're talking about and to maximize our operational performance in those markets. So this is where we're going to be saying goodbye. We're going to be saying goodbye to some of our states that do not have the same opportunity in 2026 as they did in 2025. And it's somewhat sad, and I don't want to discount, of course, if you're in one of these states or in one of these markets, we could have a grief ceremony for you or whatever. But the truth is 95% of Powur's current sales happen in 12 states. It is basically insanity for us to continue to operate everything we need to do for 5% of our volume. So after we make this move, what we're going to be doing is reducing 12 states that we currently have to cover, which is 85 utilities, 85 freaking utilities that our team needs to know how to interconnect with, know their processes, know everything. 461 AHJs. We need to know design standards and all this stuff. 17 additional install partners that we have to manage. 9 additional CED locations that we have to keep stocked, that we have to make sure this panel and this inverter and this, that, and blah, 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 blah. Guys, it makes no sense. And a huge part of why we're doing this is to focus on the markets with the best value proposition and increase the operational performance in those markets. We all know that as you reduce complexity, performance improves. Performance improves. So if we stay laser focused on these states and laser focused on the AHJs and the utilities and the install partners in these states, what do you think is going to happen? We're going to continue to get better. That's what's going to happen. Faster cycle times, less friction, better partnerships, more throughput, you making money faster, you getting more referrals. This is what it means to focus. So this is a big strategic move that we are making to focus. It's a big strategic move we're making to maximize value proposition and economic opportunity. And every single person on our team is so aligned with this. I know for a fact this is the right move and it's going to lead to better outcomes across the board. I will just say that I'm sorry for, the 5% of contracts and sales. If you're in these markets or if these are one of your markets that we're closing, please know that I love you and it is not personal and I would love to serve everyone, but we have to do what's in the best interest of every Powur warrior. We have to do what's in the best interest of all of our shareholders, of all of our teammates. And this is what's in the best interest. And what I will say is, we will, of course, look at turning markets back on. It's very easy for us to turn markets on. So if we have a reason to turn the markets on and the opportunity is there, we will do so. I believe that this is all going into effect in about a week. So the 18th is the last day that we will take contracts in any of the current states. And then after October 18th, it is going to be down to Powur's top 12 markets. So I got to keep moving because we're behind on time here. That's strategy number 2, focus and maximize value proposition and performance. Strategy number 3 is really to diversify our sales channels and strengthen our recruiting opportunity. And this is where I think we've had some time now to really understand who is our platform for? Who is our platform really for? And who do we want to attract to our platform? And our platform is really for, I think, these 3 demographics: sales professionals, individual sales professionals, and team builders. We've already got that one going, right? Individual sales professionals and team builders. But keyword there, professionals. We want professionals. Our platform is also for sales organizations and the third channel, contractors. The sales org and contractor channel are immature. We are introducing a new product next week called the Powur line. And the Powur line is going to specifically be a product for sales orgs that are doing over 10 sales to 20 sales a month. And it is a flexible pricing model that meets the market where the market is at. What we have found when we went to market to recruit sales orgs is that most of the industry is already using a pricing model that it's not a big deal if you're an individual. You can change your pricing model pretty easy. But if you're a company, you've already built out your systems, your comp plan, your CRM, your training, your everything. There's all this friction to change the whole model that you have and adopt a new model that you have to then go change throughout your whole company. And what we found is like, it just doesn't make sense for Powur to ask, pre-existing companies to change their whole model to join our platform. So we're meeting them where they're at. And as we deliver the Powur line, we are going to have total pricing model flexibility to onboard contractors and sales orgs. And in Q4, we are doing a mastermind to really brainstorm and think, what do we want our contractor product to be? Because I just showed you how awesome all those TPO products are, right? They're insanely good. Well, guess what? There's 20,000 solar contractors that make up the long tail of solar contractors, and they don't have access to those products. They have no way to get them. So all of these solar contractors are absolutely going to need to join a platform like Powur in order to get them. Period and end of story. This is one of the biggest opportunities. And so I'm going to be doing a mastermind with some of our top recruiters in Q4. And I want to put together the most badass incentive plan to go recruit individuals and team builders, sales organizations, and contractors in the industry. Because I think over the next 5 years, we could recruit and scale so many people through this channel that are going to need access to these products in a streamlined way to sell and fulfill them. Strategy number 4 is to really identify and select our strategic direction for this business and to return shareholder value. My goal in Q4, and part of what you're going to see next, is that I am restructuring this business right now so that I can stay focused on vision, strategy, and sales, which is actually where I am happiest and where I offer the most value. And what I want to do in Q4 is I am pulling the whole Powur board of directors together. And now that we have the bumpy road behind us and we know exactly what the products are, We know exactly what the policies are. We know exactly what the focus is. And we've got a compelling runway for the next few years where we know there's going to be insane customer value proposition. There's going to be huge seller commissions. This thing is ready to boom. We've got all these tailwinds, lowering interest rates, increasing utility rates. This is the time for us to really capitalize and return value to our shareholders. And what I mean by that is a strategic direction. What is the more long-term vision for Powur? Beyond us just selling solar and batteries in the next 5 years. And don't get me wrong, I think we can sell a lot of solar and batteries over the next 5 years. But what is our strategic direction? Where are we going with that? Are we going to become a virtual power plant company? Guys, there was a company this week that raised $1 billion at a $5 billion valuation that has only deployed 2,700 batteries to market. 2,700 batteries. They raised $1 billion. Raghu's going to talk about this, but the opportunities in the virtual power plant space are bigger than ever. Base power. Phil, look up base power. This market of virtual power plants is going to blow away everything we've seen in the past. So should we start to take action today to align ourselves with becoming a virtual power plant? And that's one of the strategic directions for our platform. Or should we really look at the home improvement space, right? Look at all the capabilities that we have. Our contractors are already doing HVAC, roofing, windows, siding. Should we expand the products that we offer and become a diversified home improvement platform where sales professionals, sales organizations, and contractors can come to get everything they need: financing, proposal tools, sales enablement, fulfillment, equipment, manufacturing. These are the type, this is what I want to land on over the next quarter and set Powur up over the coming years to execute on a strategic direction for this business that maximizes and returns shareholder value. And I'm committed to that. Part of what we've done to do that is a massive internal organizational realignment. And I am so proud of the Powur team, guys. I really am. This team is ready to freaking lead and execute and perform at the highest levels. They are. I do not need to spend so much of my energy internally focused on running the business anymore. Ethan Miller is now the president and chief operating officer of Powur. Ethan Miller is going to run the internal business with his senior management team: Kat Love, Dan DeFori, Mike Lindmark, Shannon Josting, Chris Bunch, Justin Brooks, and Kristen Dennis. Ethan and the team are going to knock it out of the park. They are more empowered than ever to make decisions and be connected to you and crush the internal focus of this business. I am going where I should go. And this graph is a really great visual of what this looks like in a healthy company. The CEO really needs to be at the front of the spear. I am focused on the future. I'm focused outside the company. I'm focused on the board, strategy, relationships, sales, all the things that are external and going to grow the company and grow the business and expand what's possible and what we can do. So this is a massive internal organizational realignment. And what that means, Powur Warriors, is that you're going to be seeing a lot more of me because my energy to spend on marketing and training and events, I am putting myself back at the very top of the field and ingrained in everything we are doing and leading from the front and knocking it out of the park. And one thing that I will say in this organizational realignment, let's give a massive blessing and shout out to the one, the only, the great Cammie Bamey. If you all don't know, this is Cammie's last week at Powur, and we love her so freaking much. She is such a rock star. She is such a beautiful and great human being. She is such a champion for every one of us and our mission and this vision of a healthy, sustainable, clean energy future. And Cammie, if you want to run out just quickly and give a big hug, you know, part of this realignment comes with some sadness. I love you so much, Cammie. And the Powur community loves you so much. And you have left your mark on all of these beautiful human beings. And she is off to her next great, big, bold adventure, which is exciting and possibly in this space. We don't know, but there will be more to come about all that. But let's just take a moment to celebrate and honor and acknowledge this amazing human here, Cammie Bamey. All of the work she's done at Powur, everything she's given us, all she's blessed us with.
I think I sit very close to JB, so my mic works. But yeah, this is crazy. I'm still coming on Impact Journey because I love you all so much, and can't wait to see those great things you all do. Can't wait to see what everybody does. This community is incredible. Watching Jonathan's presentation this morning, seeing everything that's coming for Powur, what the future looks like. I am just so proud to have been part of this community and to be part of this incredible journey and this mission. And you guys are going to continue to crush it. And yeah, I don't want to get emotional. So
we love you so much.
Thank you. Love you all.
This section would not have been complete without deep honoring of my sister there. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that was a lot. You got a lot to digest. Let's hit a lightning strike real quick. Thank you. We roll video. I think we got a video we want to roll. We can start that.
TPO financing. You know it's what your customers need, but the process, it's killing your momentum. Waiting for proposals, swiveling between tools, manually calculating margins, hunting through products one by one. It takes forever and it's frustrating every single time. When shift happens, we respond. Introducing LightReach, fully integrated Envision. 60% faster, actually enjoyable, built in-house, designed for you. Here's how it works now. Request your design or take complete control and build it yourself, cutting even more time from the process. Set your target margin with confidence. We built this around you, not the other way around. Select LightReach financing and watch this. One screen, every product that matches your target EPC. See monthly payments and solar rates side by side. No switching tools, no hunting, no math. The system even tells you when a product increases your margin. From design to qualified customer in under 3 minutes. And when they sign, it moves straight to operations. No delayed handoffs, complete integration. But it's not just about speed. We built this in-house because we can build it for you. Your workflow, your priorities, your success. No more swivel chair, no more margin gymnastics, no more saving price lists for intake. Just you, your customer, and a tool that works the way you do. LightReach Envision, coming soon.
Oh! Give it up for this amazing product and tech team at Powur. You have such superheroes behind the scenes. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be epic. We are about to be one of the only solar companies in the world that is a freaking EPC where you've got GoodLeap and LightReach, the top two TPO products in the market, integrated into your proposal and design tool. You can set your commissions, calculate your rates, send your contracts, crush it, and do it all from one place and in a handful of minutes. This is a game changer, and I know many of you in all the LightReach markets are super excited. That's just the beginning. Like I said, we are also working on an HDM integration as we speak. The plan is that by the end of Q4, we will also have HDM integrated into Vision. And oh my God, with the top 3 TPO products in market plus SunGauge, all integrated into Vision, we are going to have every single thing we freaking need to go crush our customer value proposition and earn amazing money and get customers flying through the door. So I could not be more excited. There is a pilot currently going on for HDM, but we're not ready to open it up to everybody just yet. It's an invite-only pilot. We will be reaching out more over Q4 to invite some more people to the pilot. We can chat about that if you're in one of the markets that it's operating. But ladies and gentlemen, what a morning. What a morning that we have already had as we kick off this virtual Power World 2025. We are here. We are present. We are alive. We are equipped. We are empowered. We have the best products and the best opportunity I think we've ever had to go knock it out of the park over the next 5 years and solve one of the biggest challenges in the energy transition in America. We can do that. We can build the safe, scalable model for sellers, customers, installers, and shareholders. We can scale and bring the products we need for a sustainable energy future to market. We can create prosperity for ourselves and for all of our teammates that we are willing to lead. And we can diversify and pick a strategic direction that we are going to absolutely capitalize on over this next 5 years to return massive value to our investors and shareholders, who I know many of you are. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go build an amazing freaking future together. I am here. I am going to be with you side by side more than ever as we embark into 2026 and this incredible opportunity that we all have. I love you all so much. Thank you for giving me your time, your presence, your space, your energy, your good vibes this morning. And I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Bobby Smith.